Hello, I'm Doug Crawford with the Santa Barbara Navy League, and we're at the Jewel of the Pacific, the Santa Barbara Yacht Club, and we are here today for a time-honored tradition held by the United States Coast Guard, where our finest men and women who serve here in Santa Barbara are going to witness the change of command, where their commanding officer, Lieutenant Brian Whistler, is going to be leaving for Washington, D.C., and he turns over command to a new CO.
Thank you for your remarks. Now Lieutenant Whistler, Commanding Officer, Coast Guard Cutter Blackfin.
Morning, how we all doing? Great. Captain Ferrier, Captain Caplis, Chaplain Wesley, distinguished guests, fellow Coast Guardsmen, family, friends, my crew. Good morning, welcome to Santa Barbara. Thank you for coming. For the past 2 years, it's been an honor and privilege to live here and command the Blackfin. Captain Ferrier, sir, thank you for your kind and humbling remarks. Also, thank you for taking the time on your first day on the job as Sector Commander to come up here and preside over this ceremony. You and your staff, including many of the individuals sitting with us here today, provided Blackfin with tremendous support throughout my tour. Without that support, we could not have been as successful as we have been. So thank you. And although it's been less than 24 hours, it's been great working for you, sir. This tour has been an amazing experience for me. I have little doubt that when I eventually take off the boots and hang up the shoulder boards for good, I will reflect on my career and will confirm that this tour was the best tour that I ever had. Command afloat this early in an officer's career is an opportunity that is unheard of in the other services. One that is prized within the Coast Guard. With that said, there's a tremendous amount that I did not know when I stood here 2 years ago and assumed command. But thankfully, one way or another, I've been able to learn enough to keep Blackfin out of harm's way and mostly productive. I know this will not come as a surprise to anybody, but Blackfin's successes are not a reflection of me or my abilities, but instead a testament to the amazing crew that I have and the support we have received. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize a few individuals that made this tour so great for me. To the crew, I think one of the best gauges of how successful a commanding officer will be is to look at his or her crew. I've been blessed with an exceptional crew and standing in front of them all as the executive officer. This is my last opportunity. Petty Officer Mitchell, you're an excellent executive officer. You have the ability to maintain professionalism and good order and discipline in the unit while simultaneously earning the respect of the crew and having a great time while you do it. I know you will not miss my red pen corrections on various memos and instructions, but you can rest assured knowing that I've personally handed down your beloved red pen to Mr. Podolsky. I've learned a lot from you and hope that has been reciprocated. I know Mr. Podolsky will be set up for success with you in his corner. Thank you for your loyalty and the best of luck in your career. I know it will not be too long before you will be assuming command of your own. To the rest of the guys, I know there are many times during the past 2 years when you were worked to the limit and thought there was no relief in sight. Perhaps it could have been the seemingly unending 3-day search for fishing vessel Wild Things 250 nautical miles offshore. I don't think any one of us, besides maybe Petty Officer Young, made it back to port without throwing up once, twice, maybe 10 times due to those sea conditions. Your unyielding drive to complete the mission is a testament to your character and served as a tremendous example to me of the quality of the Coast Guardsmen we call Blackfin their own. Perhaps you could have gotten discouraged when after running drill after drill, you wiped the sweat off your brow and dressed out for an afternoon and evening of law enforcement boarding. No matter what the challenge, mission, or obstacle has been, you have always stepped up to the plate and made me proud. Thank you for your support, your service, and allowing me to call you my crew. We We are a team, and every one of you has played a critical role in our successes. Please support Lieutenant Podolsky as you have supported me. Commander Collins, Lieutenant Commander Fazio, thank you for your support. There's never been a single instance this tour that I felt you've not been supporting me or the crew. As I told Steve during the relief process, without a doubt, we have the best section command in the Coast Guard and work in the best area of responsibility. Thank you for giving us commanding officers the autonomy that you have. It definitely motivates us to excel and motivates us to make you proud of our work. Commander Dunn, thank you for your support and that of your predecessor and staff. Your engineering and admin departments have been outstanding, and as I have mentioned, our successes are a reflection of your support. This is Karen Crawford, Doug Crawford, Brenda, thought I saw Hugh, Lynn, any other Navy League members that are present here today. Thank you for your unending support of Blackfin and the Coast Guard. Whenever we needed extra support, you have always been there for us. Your efforts have greatly increased the morale of the crew and are appreciated. We're all volunteers, and your only compensation is the personal satisfaction you get through supporting the troops. Yours is a noble cause. You always thank us for our service to our country, but likewise, thank you for yours. Paul Fritz. Paul is a fellow Coast Guard officer, and as it turns out, we have both sailed the seas on Coast Guard cutter Resolute. I think your tour on board was a few years before mine, but it just goes to show how small the Coast Guard really is. Thank you for your support through the Navy League and the Military Order of World Wars. Your efforts to improve the morale of the crew have made our job easier. Thank you. As luck would have it, this week turned out to be a week full of medical emergencies for our interagency partners. Even though they are unfortunately unable to make it today, I wanted to recognize Captain Thaddeus King of the Santa Barbara County Fire Department and California Department of Fish and Game Wardens John Castro and Santos Cabral. You are all two professionals and have been a great role model for me. Thank you for your support to the Coast Guard and most importantly to the residents of California. Hello commanding officers, Cutter Narwhal, Lieutenant Ensley, thank you for bringing your cutter up. Cutter Blacktip, Senior Chief Flight Tech. Cutter Halibut, Lieutenant Paris is unfortunately unable to make it today. It has been a pleasure working with you and your crews during the past 2 years. You've always been there for me to lend advice, help during an operation, or to cover search and rescue requirements when Blackfin has suffered an engineering casualty. You all exemplify the finest traditions of a seagoing service, and it has been an honor to work with you all. Lieutenant McGee, Commanding Officer of Coast Guard Station Channel Islands. We haven't had the opportunity to work too much together since you're new there, but to a casual observer, it might seem as if part of your many duties is to provide support to Coast Guard Cutter Blackfin. In fact, your guys are here today as our color guard. You and your crew are always quick to move your 47-foot motor lifeboat to allow us to moor for the night or to get underway to help us escort terminated vessels safely back to port. You and your crew are true professionals, and it's been a pleasure working with you. Thank you for all of your support. The crew of Marine Safety Detachment Santa Barbara, you helped us hold down the fort here in Santa Barbara. I'm sure you're probably getting sick and tired of answering the door and signing for our mail. But thank you for your friendship and your support over the last 2 years. Also to the auxiliaries we have present, Mr. Ravenscroft. I don't know if Roy was able to make it, but thank you for your support as well. Very similar to the Navy League, yours is a volunteer service. Volunteer and help us out immensely. It's all volunteer. We're getting paid for the same thing you volunteer, so thank you for your service. To my friends that have been able to make it here today, some former COs, some engineers. For that. Thank you for your friendship. You've always been there for me to lend advice or to put a smile on my face. To my family, many of you have traveled thousands of miles to be here today and celebrate this occasion with me. Thank you for your love and support. Mom and Dad, it's been great living so close to you and being able to spend as much time with you as I have. Thank you for always helping me and Tiff out and for babysitting Spencer for us. We're moving across the country, but at least you now have a place to stay in DC, and now you can see all the Smithsonian stuff. To my beautiful wife Tiffany, thank you for supporting me in my career. I know it is not always easy dealing with me getting underway, but you're always supportive knowing how much I love my job. You are my best friend and my confidant. I'm excited about all the adventures that lie ahead of us and know there are great things in our future. Thank you. I love you. Steve, I wish you the best of luck. I truly believe you're assuming command of the best 87-foot cutter and crew. I know I'm leaving the ship in good and capable hands, and I'm excited to hear about all the great things you're about to achieve. Santa Barbara is a great town. I feel it is my duty to educate you on an uncommon tradition for Blackfin commanding officers. As it turns out, the previous 4 COs, including myself, found the Santa Barbara single and left married. I know this puts you in a stressful situation, but good luck. I'm sure you'll make us proud. Lastly, I don't know if Jorge's out here, but I wanted to thank the Santa Barbara Yacht Club for volunteering and helping us out for this ceremony and the reception. Thanks again to all of you. It's been an excellent tour, probably one of the best I'll ever have. A lot of memories. Never promise. I was going to say this initially, but for you military professionals, I apologize for having sunglasses on. I recently had LASIK eye surgery, so my eyes are still a little sensitive. I will now read my orders. Attention to orders. From Commander, Coast Guard Personnel Command, Washington, D.C. To Lieutenant Brian Whistler, United States Coast Guard. Subject, orders, new assignment. Detached from Coast Guard Cutter Blackfin as Commanding Officer. Proceed and report to Washington, D.C. for assignment to duties with the Coast Guard Office of Congressional Affairs. I will now read my orders. Attention to orders from Commander of Coast Guard Personnel Command, Washington, D.C. to Lieutenant Junior Grade Stephen Baldowski, United States Coast Guard. Subject, orders, new assignment. Attached from Coast Guard Cutter Wrangell, proceed and report to United States Coast Guard Cutter Blackfin for assignment to duty as Commanding Officer.
And now we begin the actual transfer.
BM1 Camel, front center. Petty Officer Derek Campbell, the operations officer of Blackfin's crew, now present to Lieutenant Whistler ship's commissioning pennant. The pennant is an identifying mark of the commanding officer for any military vessel in the world. It's customary for the departing commanding officer to carry his pennant upon departing the command. Now Lieutenant Junior Grade Stephen Baldowski, Commanding Officer, United States Coast Guard Cutter Blackfin.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. I promised Lieutenant Whistler I'd keep this short, and the sun's coming out, and I didn't put sunscreen on, so it will be short. I can't afford to burn my volunteer. All right. First, a big thanks and congratulations to Lieutenant Whistler. Sorry, I definitely value the time we had together for the relief process. Tiff, I'm sure you're aware that your husband's a great guy, but in the world of the junior officers, he's definitely one of the notable best. So value the time we had going through all of our relief. Thank you, sir. Next, change of command. It's never easy for the crew. So thank you to you guys. Lots of meetings, lots of records going through, planning. So a big thank you to all your hard work. I definitely appreciate it. In particular, big thanks to Petty Officer Mitchell. He emailed me when I was still floating around in the Arabian Gulf months ago, asking to get the preps ready for today. So a lot of hard work. So thank you, BM1. Hiding in the back there, Cadet Bennett from the Coast Guard Academy. Thank you for all your hard work tying up loose ends. we're going to reward you next week with a pepper spray opportunity. So do good work for us, and we'll definitely reward you on Blackfin. That should be good. Back to the entire crew, they put forth a lot of work for this change of command, so please shake their hands during the reception. They're the ones out there, on deck when we're in the thick of it. So please, and if you haven't been down to the ship, make sure you stop on board. Finally, very, very excited, extremely thrilled to be working with this crew for Sector Los Angeles, Long Beach, and the Santa Barbara, California community. A lot of representatives that we've worked with in the community in groups. Some were unable to make it, but they all highlight the mission and how Blackfin has been able to effectively partner with the community and serve the local area and the nation. We will definitely continue to provide this selfless service and be ready to complete the mission whenever the time calls. Thank you all again for coming. Semper Paratus. Executive Officer, all standing orders, regulations, and instructions remain in effect. Take charge and dismiss the ship's company.
The guests please stand for the benediction and remain standing for the departure of the official party.
Let us pray. Blessed are you, O God, who poured out your grace upon your servants. We ask now that you bless our nation, the United States Coast Guard, and particularly Coast Guard Cutter Blackfin, as they execute their mission. May they be effectual for the protection of our resources, prosperity in our ports, the safety of shores and commerce, the warding off of enemies into a secure and lasting peace. We ask now that as we leave this place, that you dismiss us from this place, but never from your presence. In your name we pray.
Ready? 2. Now, United States Coast Guard, Sector Los Angeles, Long Beach, departing. Now, Lieutenant Commander, United States Coast Guard departing. Now, Lieutenant, U.S. Coast Guard departing. Now, Blackfin departing. This concludes the change of command ceremony. Orderly advised the business.
I would very much like to introduce you at this time to Lieutenant Brian Whistler, and let's talk with Lieutenant Whistler about what this command has meant to him, and more importantly, what is your next command going to be?
Sounds good. Thanks, Doug. It's been great living here and commanding the Blackfin. So it will be the highlight of my Coast Guard career, I can almost guarantee it. But while we were here, we had great missions out here, had some excellent times. The support we got back on land, both from the Navy League and other community services, has been outstanding. It's been a pleasure to live and work here, and glad to be part of the community. My next tour, I'm going to be going to D.C. and working on Capitol Hill for the Office of Congressional Affairs. Be much different than driving ships, but kind of looking forward to the change, and I'll have a lot to learn.
Well, the Santa Barbara Navy League has been honored to be able to work with you, and more importantly, to see you get married and form a family here that you're going to be taken away from us. You and Tiffany, we wish you truly Godspeed, and you'll always have a home in Santa Barbara. We look forward to hearing from you, and you're coming back and greeting and meeting with us and our people.
Thanks, Doug.
God bless you. Well, the other half of the honor is to be here with the new commanding officer, Lieutenant Stephen Boldovsky, and we welcome you to Santa Barbara, sir.
Thanks, Mr. Crawford. I appreciate it, sir.
Well,
It's a pleasure to be here.
we look forward to being able to support you in any way we can, and that means that you need to call on us, just like you heard the captain talk about the phone number being there. Can you tell us what it is you look forward to, and basically, what have you heard and think about Santa Barbara? And one last thing.
All right, it's obviously Santa Barbara is everything they said it would be. It's beautiful here, so I'm actually looking forward to getting underway. I'd go underway right now, but I think we got some good food, so we'll wait a week or something. But yeah, just thrilled to be out there doing the mission. I was overseas for a while, anxious to get back to the Coast Guard missions back here. So,
what was it that you've been doing, Lieutenant Boldovsky, before you came here?
I was the executive officer on a patrol boat in the Middle East. So a little bit different mission, and I'm thrilled to be back here for our stateside missions now.
So, Lieutenant Boldovsky, what was it that got you interested in coming into the Coast Guard in the first place?
Sir, two things. I was a Boy Scout for a long period of time, and then I went into the Sea Cadets back in Pennsylvania, where I'm from, and had a tremendous experience with the Sea Cadet program. It's why I joined the Coast Guard and not the Navy. Ironically, found out about the Coast Guard through them. Tremendous experience. I highly recommend it to young kids anywhere. And working with the Navy League was a thrill in Pennsylvania. So I look forward to working with you as well out here in Santa Barbara.
Well, that's quite a testimony to a program that is very important, I think, in our nation then and now, and that is the Sea Cadet program for young men and women that are the ages 11 to 17. And is there anything else that you can add about Sea Cadets? Any specific thing that you can remember or recall about the Sea Cadets that was really kind of a changing moment in your life?
Just friends for life, and opportunities that you're not going to get anywhere else. Going out and doing learning trades that are available in the military. Tremendous, just a great opportunity.
So the Sea Cadet program not only teaches young men and women today what it means to do service for our country and to be able to learn a number of different sea-based and land-based service opportunities, but the opportunity can become an opportunity to turn into a lieutenant that's a commanding officer of a Coast Guard cutter in one of America's most wonderful spots. So we applaud you for your service.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And we thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Well, we can't do anything other than wish you fair winds and following seas here.
Thank you.
And so you don't have too many experiences like we just heard about.
Rough.
Not too rough. But we do thank you for your service, and we are here to support you, and God bless you in your new mission.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We're pleased to be here with Captain Roger LaFerriere at the Santa Barbara Yacht Club on a day that is very important in Coast Guard history, and that is the change of command for a cutter. And sir, can you tell us what your job is as sector commander and what it is that an event like this means to you in the Coast Guard?
Well, as a sector commander, we're responsible for the security of the Los Angeles area all the way up to Morro Bay. We also do search and rescue, marine environmental response, and fisheries patrol, and a number of other missions as well. Today's ceremony is very important, probably mostly important for the crew of the Blackfin, because they need to see that the continuity of command exists, that there is no glitch in the transfer, and the transfer is all done smoothly. A tradition that dates back well before the United States, well into the history of the English Navy, actually.
Well, we very much appreciated your comments at the microphone regarding your founding father and the words that he had to say and the method with which we as free men are governed and treated by members of our armed forces and the Coast Guard especially. And we thank you for your being here, and we look forward to supporting your sector operation as well as the Coast Guard cutter Blackfin and MST.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, and looking forward to working with the Navy League. Thank you. Semper Paratus.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
The Navy League is the most dedicated civilian advocate for the U.S. Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and U.S. flagged merchant marine. Headquartered just outside our nation's capital, a major part of the Navy League's vital mission is educating the public, local and national elected officials, and policymakers about the importance of maintaining strong and effective maritime forces. Navy League's nonpartisan advocacy programs deliver critical information about the needs of the sea services and its men and women in uniform throughout the halls of Congress, with Sea Service program briefings for members of Congress and key staff. The annual Maritime Policy Statement highlights the needs of each of the sea services to ensure that they have the proper training and equipment to carry out their critical mission. The Navy League's monthly magazine, Sea Power, provides news and in-depth articles that focus on the important role of the U.S. Sea Services to the defense of our nation. Whether at home or abroad, the Navy League provides support to our men and women of the sea services around the world. Local councils adopt ships and units, providing morale and welfare support and assistance to their crews and their families. Navy League's prestigious awards recognize outstanding individuals for their leadership and accomplishments within the sea services and maritime industry, promoting leadership, professionalism, and morale. Homecoming ceremonies and ship visits are special events organized and sponsored by local councils, as are ship christenings and unit commissionings. With the help of individual and corporate members, the sea services become integrated into the local communities they serve and protect. In addition to providing support today to the men and women serving at home and abroad, the Navy League always looks to the future, to today's young people and tomorrow's leaders. Scholarship programs provide financial assistance to the dependents and direct descendants of Sea Service personnel. And Navy League-supported youth programs, such as the Naval Sea Cadet Corps and Navy and Marine Corps Junior ROTC, give thousands of young people the opportunity to develop leadership skills, test their limits, and perhaps prepare for a career in one of the sea services. The need for a strong, vital sea service, recognized by Theodore Roosevelt in 1902, is no less today. The challenges facing our nation have never been greater. More than 100 years later, the Navy League continues to answer the call. Your support makes a difference to our men and women of the sea services who serve today and will serve tomorrow in support of American sea power. As one Secretary of the Navy said, "The sun never sets on the Navy League."